looking at the annular eclipse, annularity, just as we're speaking here, because yes, they do, as far as we can see, they've got some clear skies to see it there, haven't they, Graham?
That's right, yes. So annularity is underway in North America. We can see from our moving eclipse map, which is on the screen just above Anna and me. So on that map, we have that sort of pinky strip running across the map. That is the path of annularity, the narrow path along which people can see the ring of fire today. And we have that red dot that is slowly moving its way along that pink strip. We say slowly moving its way along. It is moving at a colossal speed. So that red dot, it touched down in the Pacific Ocean. It's raced across to the west coast. It's now making its way from Oregon into Nevada, and just above it we have our telescope feed coming in from our friends at the Exploratorium Nevada. They're getting very close to
indeed.
Annularity there. After that, the eclipse is moving on down into Utah, and then it will be arriving here in New Mexico. Will be the next to see.
We've got our glasses ready, but we're going to be sitting here talking you guys through it as well, so we'll see how that goes.
So yes, the annular eclipse is happening in North America.
It is happening, and there are some things to look for at annularity, because people are going to be out there looking at this. And what are we looking for during annularity, Graham?
Well, one of the big highlights at the beginning and end of annularity is Bailey's beads. Now, people might be familiar with Bailey's beads from total solar eclipses. This is where little beads of sunlight can be seen streaming through valleys on the edge of the moon's surface. The difference between a total eclipse and an annular eclipse is that in a total eclipse, these beads can be seen on the leading edge of the moon at the start of totality as it crosses the final bit of the sun. In an annular eclipse, the beads can be seen on the trailing. It's the trailing edge that is the last bit to cross the edge of the sun and form this ring around the moon. So yes, that is one of the highlights to look out for at the beginning of annularity.
Cool. And we're waiting, we're excited about annularity coming up, and we will be showing them here on the screen. So we're going to go off and leave you guys with our moving map. It'll replace Graham and I here at the bottom. Please make sure to look at timeanddate.live as well. There's all kinds of stuff happening in the Time and Date live stream under there. So we'll see you soon.
Welcome to the stream, folks. I hope you can hear me. I set this up because a lot of people don't know how easy it is to access this information. We're about to reach the first location in the United States with annularity. That's going to be Ely, Nevada, the top screen. The other locations were clouded out. So this will be the first annularity up at Ely, Nevada, happening any second now. And then ours will be occurring in about 5 minutes here. It's rapidly getting dark outside. So I'm going to run outside and enjoy it myself. And hopefully you guys can enjoy it as well. Enjoy this stream, folks. Well, the eclipse, I'm outside here. It is amazing. The light is changing. Animals are nesting. Pretty bizarre. The dogs are freaking out. The cats just wanted to come in. And Ely now approaching annularity there. We have a few minutes to go here. I think we're looking at about 4 or 5 minutes left. We're really close to what you see up on the screen now. And thank you all for coming out. And I'm going to get out there and enjoy the eclipse. It's only going to last a few minutes here. So I hope you enjoy the stream. Wow, is it cold? My holy macaroni. We got about 2 or 3 more minutes here. I just put some wood in the fire, and I'm going to be gone for at least 3 or 4 minutes once we hit annularity here, which is supposed to happen, I believe, at 10:35-ish, which is just in a few minutes. We're at 10:31 here. And so there we have annularity at Bluff, Utah now. We're just waiting on it outside of our door. Hopefully you all are enjoying the stream. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We would appreciate that. And enjoy the eclipse.
Anywhere you go, give it all.
and welcome back. You're watching annular total eclipse. No, that was just a mess, wasn't it? Annular solar eclipse. We've been frantically working in the background here. We've had problems both in Odessa and here in Roswell. Images falling out, and we've been crazy scrambling to get things going. So there you go. That crazy scrambling gets my mouth scrambling too. We're seeing the light levels go down here. We're seeing the shadows on the ground change into little crescent shapes. You can really feel like that the excitement is in the air and things are changing.
Absolutely. And we can see on the screen the cause of all of this.
Yeah.
It is because we are just moments away from annularity and the ring of fire here in New Mexico.
Yeah.
So the moon has been working its way across the face of the sun for the last hour and a half or so. And we are now just in the final moments before the trailing edge of the moon at the top of the screen here moves across the edge of the sun, and the sun will form a complete ring around the edge of the moon. That is annularity, the ring of fire. That is the big highlight for today.
It is, and we're hoping to see some Bailey's beads there on the trailing edge of that image.
That's correct. Yes. Meanwhile, in the top right corner of the screen, from a couple of 100 kilometers further down the path of annularity, we have the pictures coming in from Odessa, Texas.
That's the other team, from Time and Date.
That's our second Time and Date team, and they are just a few minutes behind us.
Ooh, the birds are going a bit crazy.
They are. I don't know if you could hear the squawking of the birds there. The light levels are really starting to go down here now in Roswell. It really is like evening is coming in. The temperature is
dropping.
It's dropping. I'm really feeling that on my skin. A big drop in temperature here. And yes, keeping an eye on the screen, we can see that the edges of the sun there at the top of the screen, those two horns of the sun, they are working.
Just wanted to come back to the stream, and I shut those guys up real quick. We did not get the ring of fire here. We just missed it by a little bit, but I did capture some amazing refraction through the trees of the eclipse on the ground. Totally crazy visuals. I'll be putting that video up shortly. The event is now, reversing here, and the sun, it should warm up here in the next hour or so, which is good news for us. I will keep this going for another 21 minutes for y'all. But then I got to switch over to our radio show over at Revolution Radio, which is at noon Mountain Time, where Leah and I are going to be discussing some new discoveries on Göbekli Tepe, as well as the largest solar storm ever identified 14,300 years ago. So join us there at noon Mountain Time on Revolution.radio, Studio B, or watch the replay tonight, 8 p.m. on Magnetic Reversal News. We love you. Enjoy the rest of the eclipse footage.
And there it is. That is the start of annularity here in Roswell, New Mexico. The sun has formed this complete ring around the edge of the moon. That is the entire moon silhouetted against the face of the sun. And we are beginning 4.5 minutes or so of annularity here in Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah, and as we said, this shadow is moving so fast at the moment, and this annularity here in Roswell will overlap with annularity in Odessa, wouldn't it?
That's right. Before we reach the end of annularity in Roswell, it will be starting down the road in Odessa in Texas.
Why is it that it just kind of, I'm just imagining doing the circles kind of down the path. Why does it happen like that?
Well, we can really see that from that moving eclipse map that we have on the right side of the screen there. That bright red dot in the middle of the map, that is the moon's antumbral shadow. That's what's causing this ring of fire. At the moment, the middle of that dot is more or less over Roswell. Roswell is about 30 kilometers or about 17 miles off the very center line of the path of annularity. So that's where we are now, almost in the very center of that dot. As the dot moves off Roswell on that map, it is already moved into Texas at the other end of that dot. So annularity is starting in Odessa at the same time that annularity is finishing here in Roswell. And we are round about the middle of the eclipse here. Because we're not exactly on the center line here in Roswell, we don't get a perfectly symmetrical ring. You would have to be exactly on the center line in order to get that symmetrical ring all the way around the sun. But we are very close, so that is giving us, I mean, right here we are looking at more or less a perfect
little bit
ring.
wider on one side there, but still pretty damn perfect, I reckon.
That's correct. That's correct. And this is just a great reminder that the sun and the moon and everything in the sky is always in motion. It's always moving. We very rarely get to actually see things moving in the sky because it's such a slow and subtle movement. But here, over the course of 4.5 minutes, we can clearly see the moon moving relative to the sun.
You can see it spinning a little bit on the side now. We can see it moving.
That's right. So we're now into the final stages of annularity here in Roswell. The moon has made it nearly all the way across the face of the sun. Meanwhile, in the top right corner of the screen in Odessa, the whole process is about to repeat. We are getting very close to the start of annularity there in Odessa. That the two horns of the sun
are going to meet again.
That's right. Once again, they're getting closer and closer. So yeah, we're looking.
We're going to let Gus know to switch the images around. We're hoping to get that to happen quite soon, right?
That's right. I think at some stage we're going to swap these images over. But yes, we are looking at annularity coming to an end. The moon has just finished its travel across the face of the sun, and that ring will be broken very soon. Meanwhile, at the same time, in nearby Odessa, Texas,
oh, there you go.
There we go. Yes, right. Things are just about to begin in Odessa, Texas, just as things are finishing in Roswell, New Mexico.
There you go.
Annularity begins in Odessa, in Texas. So on that red dot on our map, Odessa is on the right side of that dot as it moves across North America, and Roswell is now just to the left of that dot as annularity ends here in Roswell.
You should remember to breathe, huh? It's just surreal, and what we're actually looking at is the new moon, and that's a bit funny to think about, isn't it? Because normally we don't see the new moon.
That's right. This is actually a perfect view of the new moon. As you say, Anna, it's the one moon phase that we never normally get to see because it happens when the moon is between the Earth and the sun. We are looking here at the dark side of the moon. It is the same side of the moon is always pointing towards the Earth, and how much of it is lit up depends on the moon phase. So at new moon, none of the near side of the moon is lit up. That's one of the reasons we can't see the new moon. But here it is, facing towards the Earth as the dark side of the moon. And there we are now. Now, in Odessa, there, our second time and date team is very close to the center line. Only about 2 kilometers or 1 mile from the center line. They're just, I think it's about 7 blocks south of the the center line. So here in
Wow.
Odessa, we are getting a perfect ring there. That is really a perfect ring of fire.
It is for sure. And we've got 2 rings. That doesn't mean there's 2 rings of fire in the sky in Odessa, but we have 2 telescopes pointed at the sun and the moon at this time, so we get 2 different views of it. And also you can see the different colors depending on, like we were discussing earlier, depending on filter, depending on type of telescope, those things.
That's right. But even as we're speaking, Anna, we've now lost that perfect ring already. We can now see that the moon is moving towards the other side of the sun.
Oh, look at that.
And now here we are looking through one of our other telescopes here. Now we've got the exposure turned right up on this telescope, so that really is a ring of fire. That really is giving an idea of just how bright the sun is. We can see a lot of activity happening around the edge of the sun there. We can see some prominences at the top of the sun, on the right hand side of the sun.
Those are the yellow things sticking out.
That's right. That's right. That is plasma from the sun being flung out in loops around the edge of the sun.
And they have a bit of wind there. You can see it shaking around a bit.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, yes. This is
oh, okay. We just got told on our air again that Stefan in our team in Odessa is manually controlling this telescope in order to get us these images at the moment. So he's overriding all our mounts and our solar following equipment to get us these images.
So there we go, and we are now approaching the end of annularity in Odessa. That was 4 minutes and 50 seconds in total of annularity there. We're now working our way towards the end. Yes, this is about a 90% partial eclipse. Here, that thin ring around the edge of the moon, that is about 10% of the sun's disk that is left unexposed during annularity.
This is my cue. This is my cue. Eclipse glasses. You know, 10% sunlight doesn't sound like a lot.
Absolutely. Now, I think at the bottom of the screen there now,
beads.
As the leading edge of the moon starts to break that ring, we're seeing the ring break up into small beads of light. That is Bailey's beads. That's because the edge of the moon is not a perfectly smooth circle. We have these valleys on the edge of the moon. So there, as the ring is being broken, and we can still see along the horns of the sun as the moon moves across the sun, we can see that there's little blobs of light and darkness in the pointy edges of the sun there. Again, that is Bailey's beads. Valleys on the edge of the moon, which are giving us this effect. We've got planes flying overhead. I think they've been out observing this eclipse. We've still got some dogs barking away in the neighborhood here. I'm not sure how noisy they are on the feed. A bit of chatter from the birds as well. Here in Roswell, the light is starting to come back. Just in the last few minutes since annularity ended here, we've seen the light levels start to increase here. And there in Odessa, we are back into the second partial phase of the eclipse, as the moon now starts to move off the face of the sun and uncover it once more.
So we're going to put our eclipse glasses on. We're going to sneak around the corner and have a look. We're actually at an eclipse location, so we're going to take a look with our own eyes, aren't we?
That's correct. Yes, yes. And meanwhile, still to come, our timeline on the left of the screen there, the dot is moving its way down the timeline. So we've had annularity in Oregon and in Nevada and Utah, New Mexico, annularity now working its way across Texas. But we still have much more to come.
A lot more to come. We've got interviews coming up. We've got more annularities coming up. So it's worth hanging around for that. And also timeanddate.live. There's all kinds of stuff happening there. There's pictures, there's people's reactions, there's social media, there's stories of who we are behind the scenes here. There's stories of our partners. So go and have a look, and we will be back soon.
Thanks for joining us, Alien Alan. Top Knot, good to see you. Everyone who joined in on the chat, we appreciate you.